Hi, my name's Andrew Moloney. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at SoftIron. SoftIron are a UK headquartered company. We design and manufacture what we call task-specific appliances, which change the paradigm in terms of what's possible in data infrastructure, in terms of sustainability and in terms of efficiency. Richard, maybe you could introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Richard Burrett. I'm a Director and Chief Sustainability Officer at Earth Capital. Earth Capital is a global private equity group. It's an impact investing focused group. We have in total around $1.7 billion in assets under management. And our key investment themes are around energy, food, water, where climate change is clearly a core element of the analysis and rationale for the investments that we do.
Brilliant. So maybe we should start the conversation by maybe a kind of 30,000 foot view of what you see happening at the moment in terms of sustainability around the globe.
Yeah, I think there are sort of 4 or 5 principal factors that are really impacting business around sustainability and around climate change in particular. I think the first is an increasing awareness of the financial materiality of an issue like climate change. So this is no longer an ethical issue, It's become an issue of financial materiality. I think as a result we're seeing increasing focus and regulation from regulators in general, but in the finance sector in particular, and we can talk a bit more about that later. I think clearly we're seeing growing government ambitions and policy setting around climate change, particularly commitments to net zero, and in part that's driven by societal pressure. I think there is a growing awareness that change is needed, and clearly when change isn't happening quickly enough, we're seeing a growing set of climate litigation around this issue, and that looks as if it's going to increase further. So let me just pick up on a couple of those. I talked about the evolving financial materiality of climate change, and it's many years ago Lord Stern in his Stern Review looked at the economic impact of climate change and categorically assessed that early action was needed, and the cost of early action was far less than delay in action. And I think we've seen that now translated into financial analysis, and regulators have picked that up. As I said, they see climate change as a financial stability issue. The global economy is overinvested in fossil fuel dependent industries, and that needs to change. Because we need to address climate change. And I mean, Mark Carney, the former governor of the Bank of England, said categorically that firms that ignore this will go bust. And I think the way that's playing out is there's a growing movement around disclosure and reporting of climate change. So businesses need to be able to tell stakeholders, their shareholders, the general public, how they're addressing this issue. They need to disclose around that. I think we're also seeing business level commitments to net zero. You're seeing that certainly more broadly in business. You're seeing it very specifically in the finance and investment sector as well, with a whole host of net zero initiatives, one of which at Earth Capital, the Net Zero Asset Managers Initiative, we've signed up to.
Brilliant. I think you're right. I think we're seeing among our customers now, or in the industry in general, the IT industry in general, this kind of shift from what really was greenwashing. I would describe it as kind of carbon offsetting, and those kind of tools to mask the fact that we were still using inordinate amounts of energy fundamentally in the IT industry. And it's moving now to where people are definitely recognizing the kind of bottom line benefit of being more efficient in their IT infrastructure. But also, as you say, I think people are getting wise, their customers are becoming wise to the idea of greenwashing, are actually looking for material impact and material plans to address these things at source. And that's really, I guess, what we're trying to do at SoftIron, is kind of redesign the IT infrastructure so that you're fundamentally reducing the amount of power you're consuming, as opposed to just trying to offset it or just trying to limit its growth, because that's really where the IT industry and the data center industry is kind of is the path that the rest of the industry is kind of on, I would say.
And you know, I think that is one of the reasons why we, as an investor, were really interested in SoftIron, because the digital economy is growing at a phenomenal pace, and it's clearly the economy of the future. It's a big wave of investment, and the energy demands of that growing digital economy are massive. So for a company like SoftIron to actually play a role in trying to make that growth more energy efficient and effectively help to decarbonise the sector, we see as a really attractive investment rationale.